Beth, Ronaldo show today, hat-trick. We've not seen the crowd like that at Old Trafford. We've been here many a time this season. That's the type of atmosphere we used to see, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I picked a good day to go in the Stretford End today, and that atmosphere, we knew it was going to be a good atmosphere. It's Spurs at Old Trafford, but Ronaldo, he just made that atmosphere, he makes it, and at Old Trafford, you just can't ask for anything more than the game that we saw today, and that's the game that we've been wanting to see for weeks and weeks and weeks. And yeah, Spurs seem to be that opposition for us over recent seasons, where that fixture, despite the fact they are the Big Six, we usually seem to do well against Spurs, but you still can't take away the fact that we've just got 3 points off Spurs at home, which we should be doing, but it's a good result for us considering how the results have been going for us over recent weeks.
Yeah, a big win at home. We have been lacking at home. I mean, Ronaldo's role today was the hero today, but wasn't the usual Ronaldo positioning today, was it?
No, I preferred him a lot more in this game. I thought he had a lot more freedom up front in that role. He was playing as a centre forward with freedom. He was all over in different parts of the pitch. He seemed to have a good relationship with the midfield players, where he dropped deep and then he'd find that run, and the midfield players and Sancho in particular were finding him time after time, which is what he's wanted. He's wanted that service from the players around him, and I think usually when Bruno plays, they're taking up similar positions, they're kind of overlapping, crossing over each other, and he just struggles to get that service in. But today he had that striker role to himself, and the midfield did what the midfield needed to do, and the wingers did what the wingers needed to do. It was just simple football, but it worked very well, and that's when you're going to see the best of Ronaldo.
Yeah, I mean, you got to point out some individual performances today there. I think Fred in particular needs bigging up today, because I said in my fan blog a second ago, and it was like we were carrying Pogba today, but Fred held more than held his own today, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought Fred had a brilliant performance today. Fred is one of them players where you can get them performances out of him where he plays so well, and that was one of them today. I thought it was one of the best performances we've seen from Fred, to be honest with you. I thought he was superb. I thought he stuck to his role really well. He knew when to get forward, his passing was accurate. He also held his position and dropped in and anticipated the ball, the through balls through a lot, and helped defensively. I thought overall, as a box-to-box midfield player today, I thought he really stepped up, and we needed him in the midfield because Pogba had an off day today. I do think he was being targeted a little bit by the Spurs players, but as well, you can't have that much time on the ball. You've got to quickly get out of your feet, and that's what Fred did today. And I thought he held the midfield well with Matic there, and I thought Matic really did help his performance, sitting deep, and he was that cover for Fred, so it wasn't. The whole responsibility wasn't on him. He had some freedom as well, and I thought he really suited his game.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to give the defence credit as such, especially second half, to limiting Spurs.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen the one piece of brilliant centre-forward play from Kane, which brought their goal, which was good. But past that, I can't remember De Gea having much to do with in that second half. Yeah,
exactly. Do you know what? It was. I was watching it, and when they scored, obviously the penalty, I was fuming about that, because for me it looked like Spurs weren't going to score. And then after that as well, when we scored again, I was like, you know what? This is it. We're going to go on to win the game now. And that goal for me came completely out of nowhere. But when you've got Son and Kane up front, you've always got to expect that. But overall, you see Varane stepping back into the team today, and you see an overall defensively cohesive performance, and it's not a coincidence that when Varane drops out of the team, you see the defensive line crumbling, but when he comes back in, you see a cohesive unit. And I also thought Dalot as fullback was a massive improvement on Wan-Bissaka as well, and I thought that back line really worked well together today. Tellers, he has some shaky moments, but it all together, I thought they worked really well.
Yeah, big decisions are needed now, Beth, because a lot of people will talk, and rightly so. We had a little bit more control in our game without Bruno there. Like I said, we didn't create as many chances, but you've got to have the balls to make the calls, as our mate Jay would say. And big players are going to have to be dropped out to just make the system work, aren't they? I mean, big game on Tuesday night. Does Bruno even come back in if he's fit?
Well, this is the thing, because in the first half I was so impressed with the way we were holding the ball. I actually turned and I said, do you know what, we've not given the ball away nowhere near half as much as we usually. We've not had them counter-attacking nowhere near as much as you would expect. We kept possession really well. I thought the midfield did very well at keeping their positions and their roles, and I thought Matic really helped that out. And Pogba, as we know, he's not the same. He's got a completely different game to Bruno, and I think his game suited it today. But then we got to the second half, and when Spurs equalised, and we had that 10-minute period where we were struggling to really create much. And I thought in my head, I was like, it would be good to have Bruno coming off the bench now. So it's one of them. If you want to control a game and you want to control more of the possession, you're going to want to go for the midfield that we had today. But if you want to go out there and create chance after chance and have the energy in the midfield of Bruno, then you go with Bruno. But for me, after the way we've been playing recently, this has been our best performance by far, so you've got to stick with that team, in my opinion.
Beth, before we go, obviously we've got to talk about that goal. I think the game was at a lull. This wasn't expected, and goals lift games. That one today lifted the roof off Old Trafford. No one was expecting it, and it set a tone, didn't it? Because Ronaldo then past that point, I've never seen him that clinical. Even the chances that Lloris had to make weren't great chances, but he made the keeper work today. And we have to finish with a special shout to obviously Cristiano. Pretty much won that game for us just out of sheer quality and finishing.
Exactly, I thought his leadership was incredible, the way he was telling players exactly what he needed to do constantly throughout the game, keeping that up. I thought his movement was great, I thought his energy levels were fantastic, and I thought his reading of the game today, that's what he had. He has this reading of the game, he knew exactly what positions he needed to be in certain times. So a few times where he was in even more positions to score and we just didn't quite get the ball to him, but if you give him service, there's only a matter of time before a player like that is going to start scoring goals. And today, 3 good chances but executed brilliantly. I mean, that first goal was incredible, and then the corner as well. When do we ever see it? And what a great header, and that's Ronaldo for you. People say he's the problem. He's not the problem, you just need to know how to work him and how to use him, and we used him well today, and we used him how he should be used.
And rightly gets man of the match. Beth,
exactly.
Fred
was good as well though, to be fair. But he didn't get a hat-trick, did he?
But let's hope we've seen that on Tuesday night and we're not going through as well.
Well, that's exactly what I mean. Atletico, Ronaldo in that form, hopefully we win it at Old Trafford and go through to quarterfinals.
We'll see you on Tuesday.
See you on Tuesday.